I think we all love a good drop on a roller coaster. This video will be my top 25 drops that I've experienced. To qualify for this list, a drop have to be either after a lift hill, after a turn after a lift hill, after a pre-section after a lift hill, or after a mid-course, or a mid-course and a turn. Something like that. It can't just be a top hat or an airtime hill or something like that. Number 25 spot goes to Fluke for Knockout at Hansa Park. This is an indoor beyond vertical drop with light effects on. So yeah, super fun visuals and great ejector airtime. So number 24 is Leg Coaster, one that you probably were expecting to be much higher on this list. But yeah, I don't remember liking it that much actually. I don't know why really, because it does have airtime, it does have laterals, but yeah, maybe the restraints just fits better for some hang time filled drop, which it was in the front row, at least forwards hang time, but that's not the hang time I prefer, so therefore Leg Coaster's drops isn't higher than this, but I still like it. So when I said that I only include mid-right drop if they were after mid-course, I made this one exception because this ride have a brake man, so that's technically a mid-course brake system kind of thing. But this drop gives some cracking ejector if you're on the back row with a good brake man, and you have loose lap bars, so this drop is just crazy. Next up we have Silver Star, and this is not the first drop but the drop of a mid-course brake run. This one gives some great airtime, and if you're on the back row you can just see the seats in front of you leaving, and then it's your turn, and you'll get a whip through this drop, and it is amazing. Number 21 goes to the second drop of Jetline. This drop is absolutely insane for the laterals here. It looks like it gives some ejector airtime, but it doesn't really. It gives some slight floater in the back row, but the laterals is the highlight, and also the positives when you hit the bottom of this drop is amazing. Next up we have a drop that is very much held by the pre-drop, because the drop isn't even that steep or that sudden, but in the back row here you will still give some hard ejector airtime. And yeah, you can give a really loose lap bar as well, so that just makes it so much better. Number 19 spot goes to another Gerstlauer Eurofighter. This is Sorva ride. This drop is slightly steeper and slightly bigger than every other Eurofighter that I've ridden, therefore this is the best Eurofighter drop. Just like the other ones, this gives good ejector airtime. But yeah, again, it's my favorite, also helped by a great near miss at the bottom of the drop. And number 18 goes to the first dive coaster on this list, which is Baron 1898 at Efteling. I love how dive coasters just hold you there, and then you get that stomach dropping sensation when it actually drops you. I prefer them in the front row, which is the only drops on this list that I actually prefer in the front row. But yeah, just for that hanging feeling before you drop, that's worth it. Normally, I prefer drops focusing on a good whip with some good airtime, or laterals, or both. But Dynamite focuses all on that hang time, and it's all worth it because this gives some amazing hang time. Especially because you're only doing it with a lap bar. Yeah, you can say B&M wing coasters is pretty much as good as these ones if it wasn't for the restraints, but with lap bars it makes it so much better, which is why Dynamite is on the list and the B&M wing coasters are not. And next up we have Twister. This drop took me by a huge surprise. The train is pretty short, but there is a big difference from the back row and the front row here. In the back row you will get pulled down this incredibly steep and incredibly sudden drop, giving you some amazing ejector airtime. So yeah, amazing and really surprising drop, this one. Next up we have another coaster from Grønland. This is Monster, and this is a super interesting first drop because it is super steep for a B&M invert. Just like Jetline, it doesn't really give you any airtime, or at least not that much. It is all about the laterals here, but here it is sudden laterals like a snap, and then after the snap you start build up some incredible positives. So yeah, Monster's drop is amazing and by far the best drop on any B&M inverts that I've ridden. Next up we have Colossus at Heide Park. This could probably be much higher if the drop was better shaped, because this drop have its height on its side. Yeah, you will get some good floater airtime all the way down, and yeah, in the back row of course it's best there, and just a super fun, and this is more of a graceful drop I would say, but I still really enjoy it since it's this high. At number 13 spot, we have Krake at Heide Park. I love my dive coaster drops, and this is slightly better than Baron, both because it's a couple of meters taller, it goes down to a mouth, and it have a splashdown. So yeah, that's the reason it's above Baron at Efteling. Next up is Untamed at Wilde, Holland. This is super steep, and in the back row you'll give some insane and sustained ejector airtime. So yeah, what's not to love about this drop, it is amazing. At number 11 spot, we have what might be the strongest moment of airtime on any of these drops. The second drop on Nessie at Hansapark. This is strong ejector. It is not sustained at all. It is a pop, but it is a brutal pop, and it hurts a little bit because it is so strong. Starting off the top 10, we have Wilde at Liseberg. This is similar to Untamed, I would say. This might have some slightly weaker airtime, but it have head choppers all the way down, and you start up with some laterals. Next up, we have the biggest drop on this list, which is Hyperion at Inlandslandia. In the back row, you'll get some great sustained projectile airtime all the way down. This could be higher if it had that stomach dropping sensation that some of these drops have. This one doesn't have that, this is just pure airtime goodness. So I actually did put Goliath's drop above Hyperion's drop, and I think it's because the trains are longer, so you get more of that whip feeling in the back row. And then the drop is shaped in a way that also gives you that stomach dropping sensation that you also get on some other drops that you don't get on Hyperion's drop. At number 7, we have a drop that you might not even expect to make the list. This is the backwards drop on Revolution at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Yeah, this is sudden and this is fast, and I was even in the back car. That really says something, because already there it felt crazy. And I love going down drops backwards, and I love backwards hang time, stuff like that. Therefore, this drop was just heaven for me. And one thing I need to mention is this drop had the best stomach dropping sensation on any coaster drops that I've ever experienced. And at number 6 spot, we have Oblivion at Alton Towers. Definitely the best dive coaster drop that I've experienced. The thing is, more than half of the drop is underground, so you can't see a thing, and you're just plummeting down, floating down under the ground without knowing when it's going to hit the bottom. And when it hits the bottom, you get some good positive G's also. Number 5 is Lost Gravity at Wilde, Holland. The way this drop just goes down and then twists 180 degrees is crazy. And the best place to be here is definitely back row, outer seat, because here you will get some crazy laterals combined with that amazing airtime that this drop already gives. Number 4 spot goes to Expedition G-Force. This drop will first up give some amazing airtime going down, incredibly sustained airtime, and even while you're in the air, you will get a great snap while going down that gives some aggressive laterals. So a little bit like Lost Gravity, this is amazing airtime and laterals combined. I lied at the intro when I said that a drop needs to be after a lift hill or a mid course, because this is actually after a launch, I will say, but it's also kind of a lift hill, but it speeds up throughout the lift, so therefore it's technically a launch, but I decided to count this as a cheat. This is by far the most insane of all the drops here. It is also one of the shortest ones, and in terms of forces, I don't even know how to describe this. It just feels like a car crash. It is absolutely crazy. Yeah, it feels like there isn't even a transition. It feels like it's just a sudden dip with no shape at all, just down, straight down, out of nowhere. And yeah, I can't even describe how it feels. As you should know by now, most of the really high ranked drops are aggressive. Shambhala's drop isn't aggressive. This is just super graceful. This is the most graceful any graceful element can be graceful. This is amazing. In the back row, you will start getting that float airtime even before reaching the top, because the trains are that long. And then you'll just be out of your seat for the entire drop, and you have this tunnel to look down to and just know you're going through that tunnel. It feels like forever, and it is amazing. There are so many great drops, but in the end, I have to give the top spot to Cannon at Hansapark. This is both because you're going from pure darkness and then down this drop and are shoot into daylight, but also just because the drop itself is absolutely insane. One of the biggest drops that I experienced, it is vertical and it twists you 90 degrees while going down. So yeah, in the back row you'll get some amazing projector airtime all the way down, and in the middle of that drop you'll get some great laterals as well, and if you have some room, this drop feels absolutely terrifying. But guys, please be careful with room on this ride, because the ride is crazy and the forces are insane. So yeah, be careful. But yeah, that has been it for this video. Comment down below what is your favorite drops on the rides that you have ridden. Thanks for watching, bye guys.